In this video, I'm going to show inference for GPT-2. So if you put in a prompt Golden Gate Bridge spans, then this is passed into the encode and using tick token. This is the beginning or end of sequence token. The tokens are actually the index locations of the tokenization. The output of this is that combined with that eventually will be a list. So if you pass it in here, that turns it to a list, and there's generated is what that becomes. So generated is then passed into here to make it an extra dimension, because this is taking in 2 dimensions, but the output of this is 1. And it's converting it to a torch tensor. Its device is equal to, if it's CPU or GPU, whichever the if statement is selected above. All of this is passed into the raw forward function. The output of that is the logits, which is the raw predictions, which could have negative, positive values, etc. More specifically, it's approximately 50,256 items, or a vector of that length. And what this will do is take the argmax, which is the index location of the maximum number that's outputted by the logits. It could get converted to softmax, but in this case, that's unnecessary, and that's a lot of extra compute for softmax, unnecessary compute. Here's the logits. Remember, I was saying it's 2 dimensions, and that's just saying grab index location 0, which is just the single row that's contained within the logits output. There's only 1 row in there, so it starts at index location 0. There's the logits, and grab it there. Okay, so the output of this is processed with the argmax, and it finds the maximum value, and it grabs the index location of that maximum value, and then the dot item pulls it out of the tensor, or generated up here, which is a list, and it appends that token ID to this generated list. It'll later decode it, but since this is a for loop, I set it manually to generate, or to do it 20 times, to iterate 20 times. Once it outputs a value, it gets, appended to this. Now this becomes the new input. It's the original input, which was this, and appended to that, it has the next token, which in the way this is set up, it's the next token, or each token is represented as an index location in the tokenizer. The new generated thing, which is this, along with the new token ID, is placed into here again, and converted to a tensor, put on whatever device is available, passing the raw forward, outputs logits again, argmax grabs the maximum values index location, that dot item pulls it out of the tensor again, and appends that new token to the previous list. So now you'd have this plus the token that was added to it earlier, plus the new token that's now in here is generated. So that goes into there, and it repeats. In this case, it would do it 20 times. Once it's finished, it would drop down here, and it would take the encoding, and it would decode the list of numbers, and which would convert it into text, and then it would output this. So let's see here, it says end of text, which is this token, and the next token was, if it's words, sometimes tokens are partial words or groups of words and so on, or characters. So if it was individual words, then the output would be, like if I put the Golden Gate Bridge spans, this is what was input. So the next thing it predicted would be the word the. Then it would take the Golden Gate Bridge spans the, and that would be the new generated, that would pass into the raw forward, and it would predict san. Then it would take the Golden Gate Bridge spans the san, go up here, pass it into the generated, and it would output, this part would output Francisco. So that would, again, the same pattern, get appended to the Golden Gate Bridge spans the, and so it would be the Golden Gate Bridge spans the San Francisco, and then, predict Bay Area and spans the Bay Area Pacific Coast. The bridge is the world's, and then it cut off because it reached the 20 tokens prediction. And that's how inference works for GPT-2. And I'll put a link to this GitHub file in the description or the comments. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know. And if there's anything you want to see on a video, let me know. And thanks for watching. Please click like and subscribe.